Firstly, a soulmate is somebody that you can feel very much connected to. You can have relationships with these people, and they come into your lives for certain reasons. Some of these soulmates, and everybody's got a lot of soulmates. Okay, so it's a little bit different to a twin flame. I'll explain that in a minute. So soulmates are from your soul pod family or your soul group, and what we mean by that is when you're in spirit, you actually have a massive family of people, of friends. Some of these people will come into, or some of these spirit will come earthside and will become very muchly people who are important in your life, or they may be not so important, but you still feel like that you have some form of connection with them. They can come in for periods, so you may have somebody that you feel connected to come into your life for a short period. And if you think about it, like when you were a child and you're going through school, you develop all sorts of relationships and all sorts of friendships. And then all of a sudden, when you leave school or you leave work or wherever it happens to be that you are at the time, sometimes these friendships just tend to drift off. Well, those people who you felt were an important part of your friendship basis, or they performed something for you in life, they may have been some sort of an important role model to you, or just a friendship. When they drift off, that time is up for them. They've played their part in your life, and you've played their part. You've played your part in their life as well. That goes for relationships too. If you think about when you were in your teens, or like going through your 20s, quite often we tend to have sometimes a few relationships that we go through. And we all think, oh yes, this is the one. This is the one that's going to be with me for the rest of my life. And generally, you just feel so emotionally connected to a person. And then you sort of wonder why, well, hang on, what happened? You know, why did it all fall apart? Generally, it's because that person has been in your life for a certain amount of time. They are, in reality, part of your soul pod family and a soulmate. So you know them in spirit. You won't remember them because you're here now, but you know them in spirit and they know you. And there's a connection. You play a part in their lives, and they play a part in your life for a certain period. That goes for very, very strong relationships that you have in this life. Sometimes you learn and grow a lot through a variety of relationships, some of them good, some of them not so good, but they all play an important role in your growth and spiritual development. So when a relationship breaks down and you go your way or they go their way, that basically means that it's time for you. You've grown enough from that relationship, you've learned certain things from it, so it may pay you to look back at that relationship and, well, sort of think, well, what have I learned out of it? What have I learned about me? What have I learned about my wants and needs? What have I done wrong in a relationship? What can I make better in the next relationship? So soulmates come along in a lot of different ways. It's like, for instance, I have a couple of soulmates which I know that I've had past relationships with in former lifetimes. But I also know that in this lifetime it is a very, very strong friendship basis and almost like a brother and sister basis. When we're in spirit, when we go back to spirit, we will all catch up and we all discuss the next lifetime, what roles we play before we all come to Earth. The twin flame is a very separate thing. It's like the one, okay? Everybody wants the one. So the twin flame is a person who was created, or a spirit who was created, is the same time as you, from virtually the same egg, if you want to call it an egg, or the same form of energy. It's the other half of you. Now sometimes with your twin flame, sometimes they go on separate journeys. Sometimes you will not meet in a single lifetime. Other times you will meet early in your life and you'll stay together for the rest of your life. Other times you will meet later in life. You may have to go through a series of soulmate relationships to learn and grow from, so that when your twin flame does arrive eventually, there won't be any hiccups. Other times, because basically just because somebody is a twin flame, or if you find a twin flame, it doesn't mean everything is smooth sailing. There is no such thing as smooth sailing here on the earth plane, and that's an important thing to remember. We are here, this is a school for learning and growing spiritually. We learn and grow in material ways, in emotional ways, in ways that we cannot in spirit, when we are spirit as a spirit energy. So the material world, we feel pain, we feel emotions and all that sort of stuff. We don't feel that when we are in spirit. So this is a learning ground. It's like a school. We go through a lot of different situations and a lot of challenges, and but the whole concept of everything, when you talk about spirit, when you talk about the earth, why are we here, it's all based on love. It's all based on growth. Now, your twin flame, I've got to also mention, sometimes you can meet your twin flame in one particular lifetime, and for some reason you don't connect up. It's basically because you're on a separate journey, they are on a separate journey, so you don't actually link up. But what does happen is afterwards, when you return to spirit, you do link up and you share your experiences, you share your growth, so you're both learning and growing together. Twin flames growth are born from love and light, and so you have another half of you. Once you meet, you just automatically know, yes, this is right. But it's very difficult because, like with soulmates, sometimes you have a couple of different relationships during your lifetime, and you may feel, yes, this is right, this is the one. And you're feeling that because you're right. They are right. They are the right one for that time period. There's a saying, if anything that doesn't come naturally, you'll leave it. Okay, so basically, if it starts getting all too hard, and you know there's a lot of emotional conflict and there's a lot of dramas in life, and people will pull away from each other. And when you feel that that time is actually happening, that is when you do need to pull away, even if it's just for a while, to reassess what's going on within the relationship, and to reassess what your needs are, whether this person is right for you to continue on with, or whether you should be looking further afield and looking for something a little bit more deeper. But love should come natural. It should come smooth. There is nothing that's completely smooth, because there's always little ups and downs, but it shouldn't be a hard basket. If things are a hard basket, then you know that what you're in now or what you had in the past was basically a soul pod family relationship thing with somebody that you knew that you had a connection to. And there was a reason for that connection. And it's all to do with spiritual growth and everything like that. So we go through relationships to learn and grow different things and to get ourselves a little bit ready for when we do meet Mr. or Miss Right. They are it in a bit, but the feeling that you get with a twin flame is just over the roof. It's not mistakable. You cannot mistake it. So there's the two differences. The soul mates will come into your life for certain reasons, seasons, even lifetimes, because sometimes you will not meet your twin flame in one particular lifetime. The interesting thing is, though, that even though you may not meet your twin flame is working for you on a spiritual level at all times to make sure that eventually, after you've had a period of growth and learning, you will meet a very, very high soul mate who you can spend the rest of your life with. Sometimes we do go through lifetimes where, you know, we have a really, really good twin flame relationship and they pass way, way, way before we do, so we spend a bit of time alone, but there's reasons, other reasons for that too. But the main thing to remember is that soulmates, you can have 101 soulmates. It doesn't matter how many that, you know, I mean, we know thousands of people spirit side when it comes down to it, because we have connections all over the place. Some of those connections come through in this lifetime, so you can develop relationships, loving relationships with them, physical relationships or just friendship relationships. And you can have very good relationships with these people too. But the ultimate goal is eventually to be reunited with your twin flame, whether it's in this particular lifetime or whether it is back in spirit or whether it's for following lifetimes. The thing is too that even though you may realise there are people out there who realise that, yeah, there is somebody out there very, very special for them, so they wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. That's not the right thing to do. If you feel a connection to somebody and you feel you want to try a relationship, you should, because it's all part of life, it's part of learning, it's part of growing, and you never know, that relationship might be a lifelong soul mate, beautiful connection. Maybe your twin flame you're not destined to be with in this particular lifetime. But, you know, blessings to everybody. I hope everybody finds their twin flame, because that's a very, very special relationship. Don't forget that nothing comes easy, but if you feel something is worth it, it's certainly worth working on. Okay, there's speed humps in every journey, but if you feel something is good, then it's worth working on. If it comes naturally, go for it. If it doesn't come naturally, if something doesn't feel right, then you know you need to pull away and reassess what's going on and maybe change life a little bit. Maybe start pulling in a few positive things your way and start thinking about not being in relationships for a time, and before you know it, another relationship will start. All right, blessings to all, and may you all find a twin flame one day. If not in this lifetime, you'll meet them in spirit.